Do you know
S
what?
to
Let's
D
let's
is
do it with the
calm.
times.
S to
I
D.
was gonna say
What?
we can do S to D, but we can do it with the times. So like S is supposed to be like best.
Mm-hmm.
So what would we classify in terms of what's going on in the world? Because I want to keep it like current as well.
Oh.
Um,
Oh, oh,
There's not. I
haram!
can't think of
Anything good?
anything nice to say right now.
You can't
that
put
I'd
me on
want
the
to
spot
put
like that.
this
The world is on fire.
I'm in a fortress, man, I feel trapped. King of the hill, but I'm still under attack. And I feel less inside when these weapons fly. And ain't nobody got my back. Cause I feel my aggressive when I'm under pressure. I'm losing my focus, I'm missing my steps.
Welcome to Kaisha No Pod, your favorite podcast for everything anime and manga. Today we've got a really cool topic. We're gonna be doing a tier list for anime rivals. So obviously, you know, like all the best animes have that top tier rivalry. Like you got Naruto, Sasuke, Goku, Vegeta, and so on. Like if there's no rivalry, then it's not a proper anime, is it? But introduction aside, let's get right into it because you guys
Let's
don't know, but
go.
we've done this intro 10 times.
Oh,
So-
my days.
So how are we going to rank like these guys? Are we doing it by like our favorites or just who's the best?
I
Okay.
feel
What
like-
does the best even mean?
I think
I feel like
number
the
one
best.
should
Oh,
be,
go for it.
I was gonna say number
ahead.
one should be reflect how they react to each other, how they grow against each other. If there is no response to each other, then are they really good rivals?
That's what I was gonna say. I feel like it should be best in terms of like the definition of what a rival is, like someone who pushes you forward and makes you want to surpass them, like your rival, you know?
Cool.
Just to add to that, I feel like also with rivalries or good rivalries are ones where the balance of power shifts quite frequently. It's not one where it's like
Yeah.
someone's continually chasing the other. It's one where it's a consistent back and forth, someone stronger than the other, and then it changes again and again.
That's
Agreed. I also don't. Sometimes, one thing I want to actually, we'll get into it later in the episode, but I don't think it's just in terms of power as well. I feel like you can have rivals in terms of like ideology, and just different stuff. So like, yeah. So
Agreed with that.
I guess we
Cool.
can just hop right into it.
Let's start with the first one, which is Sasuke.
Sasuke Uchiha.
Sasuke.
So initial rankings, anyone? Before we really get into the debate.
Sasuke versus Naruto.
I mean, the whole
Yeah.
show is based on this rivalry.
I'm gonna go. It's somewhere. It's either A or B.
Yeah,
It's
it'll
not
be.
there.
I was gonna say B plus.
Really?
B
Yeah,
plus.
See,
it's not the greatest, but it's not the worst.
It's
I'm
them
not
ones
gonna
where
lie.
it's them ones where I can appreciate it more now, but back then it kind of annoyed me. I was just like, man, Naruto, get over this guy. Like
Honestly,
honestly.
you were cool in there, but you weren't tight like that. You weren't real G's.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I feel like he belongs in like this rivalry belongs in C in my opinion, at
C.
maximum, right? And
Oh.
let me explain why. Let me explain why. Because no, so in terms of their goals, yes, Naruto is chasing Sasuke. In part one, I think that they are perfect rivals because like Sasuke needs to learn to work better with others, and Naruto needs to learn to rely on his own strength. So in part one, I think that they're actual rivals. But as the show continues, I feel like they change so much as people that they're not each other's rivals anymore. Like Naruto isn't Sasuke's goal for the majority of the show. His goal is Itachi. And then like when Itachi dies, his goal shifts and it has nothing to do with Naruto. They only actually fight at the end because at the very end their ideologies clash. But throughout the show, they're not competing with each other in terms of ideology or even really in power.
And even then, that fight was so forced at the end.
Exactly.
It was
I feel like it felt so
my
forced.
God.
It felt really
They're
forced
like,
because I
"Oh, yeah,
didn't
we
feel
need
like
to
they were
fight."
rivals. Yeah,
And Sasuke was stronger then. He should have won.
exactly. Like I feel like they're opposites more than they're rivals.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I feel like we should probably put them in B, but then once we add more,
Yeah,
Alright,
we
alright.
can adjust
then
as we go along.
evaluate. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I can honestly, I can see this going down to C as well, but just for
Yeah.
now,
Makes
Like
sense, makes sense.
Naruto,
it's a nice base.
Naruto is more like that ex that can't get over it rather than a rival.
Bruh, was
Okay,
he
fair
even
enough.
was he even in a thing with Sasuke?
They-
Sasuke never looked at him
They
like
kissed.
that. Ever.
They kissed. That was Sasuke's only kiss for a long time.
Oh my day. No,
And
but
to-
it's actually true.
And
When
to
they-
be honest,
jealous.
To be honest, like, has he ever actually kissed Sakura? We don't. That can't be confirmed.
We don't know
because
we don't know.
He don't really like her, man. He ain't around.
He could be on a Goku P. Nah, but you know what? That even reminded me when they first saw each other in Shippuden. Like, you know how rivals generally like want to keep the other around so they can keep on improving. When he first saw him in Shippuden, he was about to kill him. Like, no, Orochimaru had to stop him from just straight up killing Naruto. Like, yeah, no, I don't. We'll move on, but we'll come back to it. Yeah.
Yeah, Sasuke.
Okay.
I didn't like him during Naruto. I only like him now. But I think Boruto has made me like Sasuke more.
Adult
Oh,
Sasuke
definitely.
Yeah.
Adult Sasuke is
Yeah.
much better than adult Naruto.
I was just gonna say the point that in Naruto and Sasuke, in original Naruto, like I think I can count the amount of times they actually worked together in like one hand or learned from each other on more hand. Like I think remember when Naruto first turned into a shuriken, like the
Oh, that scene was dope. Yeah.
Sasuke threw it. I was only and then finally to fight Kaguya. That was the only like what twice they worked together and learned from each other.
Yeah, they weren't even really friends. Cause let's deep it.
They were hardly together.
Yeah, let's deep it. There
entire
was the Zabuza arc, and then there was the tuning exams, and then Sasuke left.
He did,
And they weren't even
really
together
until what? After Pain.
Yeah,
They weren't even together for most of the tuning exam. I feel like Naruto just has abandonment issues, to be honest. Like, and that makes sense. But like, yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Because his crappy father abandoned him, but someone wanted to
Don't
say, you know,
listen.
You mean,
Listen, I got receipts.
They both
forget these
had
Akin.
bad fathers.
Akin. Dying isn't abandoning. That is death. You can't help that. Like, what do you? Let's move on. Okay, why is Rock Lee on this list?
yeah, why is
So
it?
I put Rock Lee on the list because I feel like when he's introduced, he is, how do I explain? He serves as, at least in the Chunin exams arc, he serves as a rival to Neji, Sasuke, and Naruto, right? And I feel like that rivalry kind of enhanced the show in a way because he was the starting ground for everything. They first meet Rock Lee when they walk into the Chunin exams arc, and then he becomes that margin. Like when Sasuke improves in speed, he's like, oh, I copied Rock Lee's speed. When Neji's fighting Naruto, Naruto's like, oh yeah, you've been beating on Rock Lee, all that kind of stuff. Like I feel like he just impacts the three of them in that arc so much that he deserves at least like a mention in terms of like the rivalries that he has. Am I the only one?
No,
I'd go.
I agree with you.
I mean, what you're saying makes sense, but I'd still give it a D because it's like after that, what
A
already
D.
happened?
I disagree with you. That way.
I'm gonna give you
Because in terms of a rivalry, I love Rock Lee, but like in terms of a rivalry, there's that arc. Then after that, like, what kind of rivalry is there?
That's
No, but
It's
fair.
for such a tiny portion of the story.
What I will say to kind of follow on from Solomon's point, Rock Lee's relationship with Neji, Sasuke, and Naruto was more of a rivalry in its entirety, even though it was a lot shorter than Naruto and Sasuke.
That's what I was
the gospel
exactly. That's what I was thinking when I
he
put him on the
actually-
list.
Like Sasuke, you see how Sasuke learned from Rock Lee. Like they actually learned incorporated moves. Like I'm gonna have to put it. Dare I say? This is why I said put in
Yeah.
Sasuke.
He has to be at least the same level as
This is a
Sasuke, at
baseline.
least. Yeah,
Yeah, it has to be at least the same or maybe above.
I would put him a tier above.
Nah.
So we're gonna move Sasuke and Naruto to C then.
Actually, wait. I've got a slightly different point.
Okay.
Like Lee had another rivalry that was more low key in the show. It was with Naruto for Sakura's affection. I mean, both of them were completely lost, but you know they were
Yeah,
both competing for
definitely.
Sakura's love. So
No, but see, that's even
Another
another thing
rivalry.
because Sasuke didn't even compete in that sense. Sasuke didn't even care about
and he
Sakura.
won.
So nah.
That's a terrible rivalry. They're both fighting for something that neither of them can achieve. Sakura was not interested even in the slightest. That's like, oh yeah, you both desire something. But what I was gonna say, Rock Lee, the only problem with him really is that yes, he was very formidable against Sasuke, but he was unfocused as a rival. Like rival, when you say rival, you describe two people or at least two groups of people competing against each other. But it was like he was a great he just seemed formidable. He was formidable to everyone. Yeah, he found a perfect counter for Sharingan. Yes, he was one of the most hardworking villagers. Yes, he liked Sakura, but all of those things are just making him like a formidable. Like he was just a great all-rounded character with a lot of personality. Which a lot
That
of
makes a
people,
lot of sense. Because like in terms of
Do you
his
know what?
rivalry,
It doesn't help with
Yeah.
like the power scaling of the show as well, because up to training exams, they were actually all kind of on a similar level. And then as soon as Sasuke got the curse mark and Naruto started dealing with QB,
he just
it was just
he
a
took
wrap.
off.
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
Actually,
I can-
one thing. Sorry, like one thing I deeped is that I don't think Lee should be under this, but there should be someone else that should be, which is Kakashi and Guy. That was a
yes.
rivalry.
No. See, here's the thing. I thought about that, and in my opinion, that wasn't It was a rivalry in name alone, right? Because we're always hearing about how
they used to
yeah,
race.
Kakashi
No,
never,
but
but
that was
Kakashi
only
never
filler.
viewed him as a
That was only filler. That was literally
Was it
only in
filler?
the filler. Yeah,
I love that race when they're racing on their hands
on their
across the
hands
village.
and their legs. That wasn't in the manga.
And also from childhood when Kakashi disses Guy, then Guy's like, I'm gonna be your rival for life, and then at the end of the show, it's clear that Guy won the rivalry and that he was actually the stronger of the two.
I'm not sure if he's the strong of the two, considering the nonsense which happened with.
Okay,
Kakashi.
but that doesn't count. Like
Exactly.
in real strength, Guy was stronger than Kakashi. Kakashi was
No,
a
but see,
fraud.
here's the thing.
You can't use ghost
Why-
powers from heaven. Like that doesn't count.
But with Kakashi and Guy, my problem there is you made a good point, but my problem is we see the beginning of the rivalry where they decide we're going to be rivals, and then all we see is the end. So even if it was on this list, I would put it in D, because that's not how you build a rivalry in a show. You don't just be like, oh, we're rivals now. 20 years later, okay, here's the end clash. Who won? Right? That's not an interesting
Okay,
rivalry. That's
but-
not a good rivalry.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is their rivalry was actually a lot more nuanced than that. Think about it. If you're gonna say Lee and Sasuke was a rivalry, think about who taught Lee the technique to actually fight against the Sharingan. Using looking at someone's feet. Wasn't it a guy who invented it to counteract Kakashi?
Foot fetish
Yes,
no
but then that-
jutsu.
Oh my days.
But the thing, like I said, Kakashi literally didn't care about Guy. in that
Exactly.
regard. He literally didn't really give a thought to Guy until
Until he
the
saw
Madara
him beat
versus Guy.
Madara.
No,
Yeah,
no,
and
but
that was
that's
it.
but that's more to do with Kakashi's personality. Like he doesn't want to seem corny and all that kind of stuff. But like deep down there was the rivalry, but like he doesn't want to outwardly show it.
No, but do you know what? Kakashi as a character just doesn't seem like someone who looks for someone else as a rival. He just does. his job
Exactly.
as a ninja
Yeah,
through and
I
through.
know, but like guy kind of forced the rivalry on him.
Nah, you can't force rivalries. It has to
Naruto
happen for both
did.
sides. No, because we've established
No.
that it wasn't really a rivalry.
I mean, quite
I
frankly,
mean, they were
even-
in the first part. They were rivals. In the first part, they were.
I mean, when you
rivals.
when
Naruto
you
and
talk
Sasuke.
about if you want to talk about forcing rivalries, then like Vegeta and Goku, come on.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I was like, are you saying that a criteria of a rivalry is that they both must acknowledge that it's a rivalry? Because
Oh, definitely. I don't think Vegeta and Goku is a good rivalry. That's an awful one.
Yeah, I was gonna say like there has to be a criteria of a good rivalry. You both have to respect each other.
Yeah.
And acknowledge that you're.
Okay, whoever put Bakugo, because I know what they're gonna say. I know Bakugo does not see. Maybe now, by the
Oh
beginning,
my days.
I don't want to see Bakugo for anything. He's just a crap.
Wait, what do you mean?
I
The
hate-
Bakugo Deku rivalry
What do
is
you
probably better than
mean?
Naruto
What
Sasuke.
you know?
I
We
hate
need to stay
Bakugo.
focused. We need to stay focused. We need to stay focused.
Oh, so then
we've
what
gone
do
on
you
It's just
too
mean?
many
my
tangents.
it's just my bias. It's just my bias. I hate Bakugo.
What's
We've
your
gone on
beef?
too many
He's-
tangents.
he's-
We've gone on
he's
too many
just-
tangents.
I
Okay,
was about
okay,
to
hold
say
on,
you,
hold
though.
on,
That's
hold
how
on.
much I don't like.
Are we gonna establish that the Sasuke Naruto and Lee et al. Rivalry
I feel like they should both
is
be in
roughly
C.
the same level?
they should be
Same with me.
I will
That's what
compromise
I thought.
because we will argue too long. But yeah, let's just put them in C.
Put them down to C.
Yeah, so let's put them in C.
Let's put them both.
It's
in
the
C.
average in it. I think it's a B and a D. So let's
yeah.
just see.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I'm about to go. Super Saiyajin. Feel the fire coming off my skin. In the future, that's where I've been. So I'm about to tell y'all where the end begins. It's all black. Where my kin. It's cold outside, I need to bring y'all in.